Yavian Johnson, and I'm bringing y'all another video. Okay, so the last time y'all saw me over here, I was going through all of the body mists and perfumes that I had in my collection ever, okay? Now I've spent several more dollars on mist. You guys have already seen that from my Bath and Body Works hauls, and you guys are now about to see what I've been accumulating since January of 2023. Right now it's July 30th, and this video is not going to even be a drop in the bucket of what I've been purchasing. These are my American fragrances that are coming from people that are based in America, whether it be celebrities or whether it just be straight up brands. And then I'm going to make several other videos concerning all the other fragrances that I've been purchasing. So if you guys want to see what I got in my, I guess a haul, but I've been having these fragrances for a while now, stay tuned and keep on watching. So like I said before, this is the actual thing that I was using in my last perfume video where I showed you guys what I had. But as you guys can see, some things have moved around. Some things have been used and some things have just been moved to another space, okay? So let's start off with this OG one. And I'm not going to give you all of the fragrances on here. I'm just going to give you my newer ones, okay, that you guys did not see in that video. So this is not a full collection, like I said before. It's just to show you guys what I've been purchasing. One of the first things that I went out of the regular fantasy flankers that I was purchasing from Britney Spears are the private show perfumes, and I have both of them. I have the regular private show, which smells kind of like, it has like a coffee note in there, and it's also compared to that black opium. I don't know if that's true. I've never smelled that. And then also we have the VIP Fantasy, which I do prefer the VIP Fantasy a little bit more because I guess it doesn't have that coffee note, but I still like both of them, okay? So that's when I was like, okay, so Britney Spears just like, she's doing good on all her fragrances. Let me just step out of fantasy and like go into something else. So I thought because I did good on those two fragrances that I would like this other fragrance from her as well. So I have this Curious flanker. This is the I keep saying flanker. This is the original Curious perfume. I think that this is her first one that she ever came out with. So if it's not true, then don't get me to laughing a lot, okay? I just got into Britney Spears back in 2021. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this one, but I will say that this is not my favorite one, and I was really disappointed with this one compared to all of the other Britney Spears that I purchased from her, okay? So let me go into the Britney Spears flankers that I have. Let me say that I have 9 outside of the original Fantasy. So I have the original Fantasy, and then I have 9 flankers of the Fantasy, okay? So you guys already seen the Fantasy in the very first video that I made, so I'm going to show you guys the other ones. This is Naked Fantasy. This is Fantasy Intimate Edition. This is Hidden Fantasy. This is Midnight Fantasy. And this one, a lot of you guys like this one, but that's not my favorite one, surprisingly. I'm not sure why everyone loves that one so much. Then we have the Sunset Fantasy. That's the way that one looks. We have Circus Fantasy. We have Electric Fantasy. That's the way that one looks. This one, I believe it's this one. This one kind of has a slight, I'm wondering if it has lavender in it because it kind of reminds me low-key of YSL Libre, just a tad bit, but I'm not entirely sure. This is Festive Fantasy. And that's what that one looks like. And the last one that I have is this Blissful Fantasy, okay? Now, some of them are closely related to the original Fantasy and they smell very much alike, and then other ones, they kind of have their own take on it. So that completes everything that I have for Britney Spears, okay? I also wanted to say that I picked up all of these fragrances either from like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, which most of the time TJ Maxx is closer to my house. So most of these that I'm showing you since I purchased this year have been TJ Maxx, or I've been buying off of the fragrancenet.com website. That one is the only website that I was purchasing my American fragrances from. Okay, so another one. Once you start looking stuff on Google, Google start recommending you stuff because they want you to keep buying. They want you to keep buying and buying and buying. Okay. One of the things they recommended me was like a $9, $9 to $10 fragrance, and it was this Valor by Dana. I looked it up and I was like, okay, I don't know why it's $9 to $10. I kind of want to get it, but I don't know. No one really talked about this on the YouTube, so I don't know how it's supposed to be. I just looked it up on Fragrantica, and it said that it had a pineapple note. So I was like, okay, let's wish for the best. Okay. Outside of Britney Spears, I have also picked up a couple more flankers of different perfumes that I have. So I love the white by Kim Cole, so I went ahead and picked up blush by Kim Cole, and I also picked up black. Okay, so I have been wanting to pick up black for a while. Personally, I don't remember if I didn't remember what it smelled like, but this is a lot more floral than I thought it was. But I didn't. But then again, I also only sprayed the mist, and I don't know if the mist smells different from this, but I don't remember it smelling like this. This is not my favorite one. I actually like this one. If I had to put them in order, I would say it would be blush. It would be white. I would say that it would have to be blush, it would be white, and then it would be black. Okay. My last one I got this past Christmas 2022. My mom purchased this for me, and that was the Ariana Grande perfume that came out probably a couple years ago. This is the one that I have. So we're now going to move on, which, like I said, this video is not going to be too long because this is just like my American fragrances. But when we start getting into my Middle Eastern fragrances, I'm going to have like 15 million videos that's uploaded about that, and y'all going to be like, dang girl, you still buying? No, I was buying. I'm still technically buying, but I'm trying to slow down. I'm really trying to slow down. Okay, so yes, that completes everything new from this one. Let's move on to the other side. Okay guys, so this is my new one. Okay, and it's from the same company, but this is the actual 3-tier one. I just went ahead and purchased it because I kind of wanted the same look. It had the same detailing at the bottom, so I just decided to get it. One of the ones that I purchased, and this is what I actually purchased like straight up off of Ulta. So it was probably my very first time purchasing a more expensive perfume. Like I said, I'm used to buying from I'm used to buying from Fragrance Net, which usually I don't purchase anything over maybe $40. And that's kind of pushing it. It's usually no more than $30 for each of my perfumes. So this was the first time I had purchased something more than that, and this was like $72 off of Ulta. I'm pretty sure you can find it somewhere else for cheaper on a resale site, but off of the actual site Ulta, this was like $72. It's more expensive than the Ariana Grande perfumes actually, so that was surprising, but I decided to pick this one up. This kind of reminds me of like Santal 33 with some pepperness to it. It's still pretty sweet, so I think it's okay for women to wear it, but I would consider this more of a unisex fragrance. So if you're not okay with that, then you probably wouldn't like that fragrance, but I like it. It almost made me want to be like, okay, let me go check out the Eilish #1 just to spend some more money, but I didn't do that. This is Katy Perry's Indie, and it's supposed to be short for individual. This one smells like a sweeter version of Santal 33. I have spritzed this one out a little bit, but I still haven't worn it. I knew that even if I didn't like it, I just wanted to get it because of the bottle. Here is Ellen Tracy's Bronze. It is, one of the notes that's in here is lemonade. It kind of reminds me of like a lemon tea or something like that. It's not my favorite fragrance. I thought it was going to be a little bit sweeter. I'm not sure what I was expecting, I guess, but it isn't what I necessarily am in love with. But I will still get some use out of this because I have learned that I can pair stuff with other things and get my use out of it. So I'm gonna start wearing this probably closer to the fall time, but I haven't been wearing it right now. So I got this big dog one, and this is a 5 ounce. This is Calvin Klein's Into You perfume. It's very citrusy. I really like this. Okay, and this is the one for her. Okay, I really like this one. I did end up dropping this in my garage on the concrete, so I had to, when I came back, it was completely out of the liquid, so I went ahead and threw that one in the trash and then repurchased it. And that was my first time wearing it, so I felt some type of way. So I was like, dang, no, I need that perfume again, even though it doesn't last that long. I was just like, let me go ahead and get it. So this is what I have, CK Into You. This is one of the things that Google recommended me. They kept showing me this, and I was intrigued. I kind of liked the bottle. I just liked a lot about it, and not a lot of people on YouTube was talking about it. It was maybe a couple people that said something about it, but it's because I have to literally search it up in YouTube. But it's not really a dedicated video about this, I think. So this is from the French Revolution, and this is the original FCUK perfume that they have. Is supposed to be described as a tropical coconut and vanilla. Now this smells very fruity to me. This is actually, I would recommend this as a actual tropical fragrance, because a lot of times people say it's a tropical fragrance and I'm like, what are you getting? Okay, so I picked up this Lolia trademark Wish perfume from TJ Maxx, and this is what it looks like. I smelled it in the store and I was like, oh, that's actually like different. Like, I've never smelled anything like this. It's not necessarily my favorite perfume ever, but I knew that I was going to regret not picking it up because I was going to think about it over and over and over again. I feel like it's spicy and vanillic. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, it's different. My mom felt like it was more of an older lady perfume, but I mean, it is what it is. It's not like I said, it's not my favorite, but I think this is cool. If you actually saw it in TJ Maxx, and I'll pick it up. I think that they actually sell this. This is the clean perfume I ended up purchasing online, and this is a shower fresh one. I didn't know how this was supposed to smell, and I'm not really sure what type of soap that they were going for when they said shower fresh, but I would say it's very citrusy. Yeah, I would say that this is a very citrusy type of thing. Like, I didn't think that it reminded me of a shower until like when I would have it on and people could actually smell me, or if I would have the shirt on that I went to sleep in and I would smell it and I'll say, okay, well, it does smell like I came out of a shower, you know? But I more so pair this when I have more citric type of body washes and routines to go with it, because it just pairs a little bit better that way. I do like this, and I do kind of want to purchase a little bit more from the clean line. This is not probably my favorite perfume, but I think it does what it needs to do. I went ahead and picked up this Yes Seductive Noir. Okay. Now, when I first smelled this fragrance, I was like, okay, the people that I've been watching have been overhyping this fragrance. I don't know why they love this so much. Maybe it's just not my cup of tea. It reminded me like Carmex when I first smelled it. Like, that's what it smelled like to me. And then that same day, when I don't like something, I immediately start using it. So I started using it. I was just like, let me spray it on me. Let me go take a shower. Let me go put it on, you know. And I put it on, and they say, you know, I'm like smelling myself, and I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe I do need this. Maybe I do like this. Okay, this is pretty nice. Okay, this is the first one of the perfumes that I picked up when my collection was still pretty low. So it was also when we were wrapping up winter, like earlier this year. So I haven't had much use out of it, but I've used it quite a bit. But I've used it probably like 2 days in a row. But I kept spraying it. I don't think it lasts for a long time, but I do think when I woke up the next morning that it was actually still on my skin though. Now we're on my last row, and these are my last few perfumes, or like several perfumes that I purchased around this time that you guys have never seen, that are American based. Okay, so we have this Burberry Brit, and I have been wanting to get this. I had seen it on someone's channel. I'm not sure whose channel, and I was intrigued. I like the bottle, the way the bottle looks, so I just wanted to pick it up. Burberry has a really nice sprayer, so it has a dent in here, but I probably only used this twice, honestly, like all over. But when it comes to Burberry sprays, when you spray it out, like you're getting a lot of moisture liquid out, a lot of fragrance out. So that's that. I do enjoy this one. And this is the full 3.4 fluid ounce. These are the ones that most of these are the ones that I purchased off of Fragrance Net. Like I said, unless I purchased it from TJ Maxx or another store, most of these things are coming from Fragrance Net, okay? So this one actually came from Target as I say, and that is Finery I'm a Musk, okay? So when I purchased this, I didn't think about it, but this does smell like something that I already had, and I think it smelled like some people I remember seeing when this line first came out, they were comparing it to Cloud, and it doesn't smell like Cloud to me by Ariana Grande. It smelled closer to Thank You Next than it did the Cloud. This does have that note that a lot of people would say with the Ariana Grande perfumes kind of pull a little bit of pickleish, but of course once you spray it out, it's gone to me. We have Sophia by Sofia Vergara. Okay, this is what the fragrance looks like. I've seen the Sophia one and I've also seen the Love one. Now I was really trying to get the Love one, and I think the Love one is supposed to smell like black opium, but like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of that coffee note. So when I smelled the one from Britney Spears, the original Private Show, and they said that it smells similar to black opium, that's what they were kind of comparing it to. I was like, okay, if that's the scent profile, then I don't necessarily need the Love one, okay? So this one, I think some people have compared this to a Chanel perfume. This is not necessarily my favorite scent profile, the Chanel perfume. I think Coco Mademoiselle is not my scent profile. It is a little bit, it can smell outdated to me sometimes, but then sometimes I like it because I just wore this last week and I was like, okay, do I actually like this or do I not? But then again, I always said that I love the way that it sprays when you initially spray it out because it has that fruity, those fruity notes. Maybe it has like some citrus in there. I do love citrus, but like when it starts to move into the florals and stuff like that, that's when it starts to age a little bit, and that's what starts to get on my nerves. Okay, but I do like this. I probably won't purchase it again, but I enjoy it while it's here. So I saw this on Chloe Yasmin's channel. I think someone got her this. They got her this, and then they also got her a clean perfume around that time, and I was intrigued. So I think that's the reason why I ended up purchasing the clean perfume. But she didn't have this scent. She had like something else. But I saw this one, and I was like, this is a cute bottle. Even if I don't like the way that this smells, I'm still gonna get it. So I did. When you first sprayed out, it's giving me very much acetone. It's giving me very much the nail shop around the corner, you know? That's what it's giving me. Then it starts to give me like a slight sweetness, but then it's giving me like, I don't know. It gives me a slight sweetness, but it also seems like it may have like a lot of florals in it or something like that. It's not too bad to where I feel I regret purchasing this just because of the bottle, but it's not necessarily my favorite perfume. Like I will continue to reach for it, but I do enjoy the bottle. I think the bottle was unique, so I decided I had to pick it up. The last two that I have to discuss with you guys about these perfumes is the Jessica Simpson perfumes. Now, I don't know, Jessica Simpson, I have been wanting to buy from her Fancy line for a while, but I have just not been impressed with the ones that I've been picking up. I still have never smelled the original Fancy. I don't know. It's just not giving me right now what I need from the fragrance. This is I Fancy You, and this was the very first one that I picked up. This one is more floral. This is more floral, more crisp, and things like that. And then we have Fancy Love by Jessica Simpson as well. Like I said, I don't know how these compare to Fancy Love. I don't know how these compare to the Fancy Flankers. I know that this one is probably the odd man out of all of them. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the bottle's cute or whatever. It does take up a lot of space. But like I said, it's just not my favorite. I think it's because it's more leaning floral. than anything. And I'm not the biggest fan of florals, especially if it doesn't have like a fruitiness to it. This kind of gives me like a soapy floral, okay? At times I like what I smell, and then sometimes I just don't when it comes to those fancy perfumes. But I'm still like intrigued to buy the original fancy. As you guys can see, that completes everything that I have in my American fragrances. That actually wasn't a lot, but this is what this is a lot if you purchase all of that at once, okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and most definitely subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.